Enrichment is a great addition to your dog's life, but these days people are enriching their dog so much that the dog doesn't even know how to just chill.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to enrich every single moment of our dog's life. Welcome to the new episode of She Gets SIT Done. Make sure to hit subscribe, comment or like. We hope you love this week's episode. Enjoy! Alright, welcome to She Gets SIT Done. We are in my converted garage. I hope you like the background. It'd be nice recording here instead of Zoom.
I know, I love the green.
Yeah, thank you. Alright, it's going to be a short episode, and today we're talking about enrichment. Very popular topic these days on social media. All I see is enrichment. I see it so much that I'm just getting annoyed by it at this point.
Yeah.
So I think let's have a dive in, why do we enrich our dogs? And what is good enrichment? Let's just see where we end up with this conversation.
Definitely. I think, and I don't know if you're the same, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are pressured to give their dogs more. Like all of the dog social media accounts that I see, it's every day they're going out hiking every day. And if they're not doing that, then they're doing 20 million things with their dogs at home. Yeah. And if you're not doing that, then you're a terrible dog owner.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. I actually have one of my clients that messaged me about that. They're like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough with my dog. And she walks the dog every day, twice. The dog goes with pack walks now with me and used to go with someone else. They do puzzles nearly every day. I said, your dog is fine. I really do think that enrichment is a great addition to your dog's life, but these days people are enriching their dog so much that the dog doesn't even know how to just chill.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to enrich every single moment of our dog's life. Just let them sleep.
I think one thing is the dog's sleeping or just relaxing. People misread it as their dog is sad as well.
Oh my God.
Because they're doing nothing. And I've had to even talk to some of my clients because they're like, oh, they look sad. I'm like, no, they're just doing nothing. Yeah. They're just doing nothing. And that was
fine.
Like 5 years ago, that was normal that your dog just slept. But now everyone's like, oh my God, my dog looks sad. Okay, let's go for a walk or let's do this and let's do that. It's like, no, your dog just needs to
just
chill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A bored dog is not a bad dog. It's just like when I watch TV on Netflix, half the time I have my phone in my hands while I do that.
Yeah.
But I could easily sit there for 2 hours completely quiet and I'm scrolling. I mean, of course the dog isn't scrolling, but I'm guessing that he is snoozing and he's listening to the environment. And like my dogs, because I have the view here, lie in front of the window and they just stare outside and watch the world go by.
My dog's favourite thing, my dog's favourite thing is to lie in front of the sun. But she's always listening. She's always listening for things,
Definitely.
Checking out the property and stuff. So I just encourage her to sleep when she does, because otherwise, I kind of think of it like if you're working all day, you're already tired. Imagine then you come home and then you're made to go and go out and then go for a walk and then you come back and then you have to go and do something else and then something else. And you're just like, I just need to chill for 5 minutes.
True.
I just need to relax for half an hour. So imagine you come home, your partner's like, oh, well, you must be bored because you're just sitting there relaxing. Let's go do something else.
Leave me alone.
And it's like, no, I just want to relax. So think of it the same as that. Your dog actually does want to chill sometimes and just shut their brain off.
That's it. And I mean, not everything needs to be a puzzle. Like, sure, I feed my dogs in a slow feeder and every now and then I scatter feed or I do a fun activity with the food. But your dog doesn't need to have a different puzzle every freaking mealtime. I know it's a huge thing, like ditch the bowl. And yeah, it is handy to ditch the bowl. But I feel like sometimes you go into the other end where the dog owner feels guilty because, oh my God, I'm feeding from a bowl. I must be a shit owner. No, you're not a shit owner if you feed from a bowl.
I feed from a bowl, but I also do other things with my dogs. Like my relationship is more than just food to my dogs. Like I've built a relationship that they want to be around me and they want to do things with me. So I don't rely on food to motivate my dogs to work with me and everything. So if you're having to always, not that it's a bad thing, like you said, especially if you're going through dog, like behavior training with your dog, probably if you don't have much value, like that is one handy technique is hand feeding.
Absolutely.
But I don't think because you feed your dog from a bowl, you're going to be instantly less valuable to them.
My dogs see lots of value in me, and I'm too freaking lazy to not feed them from a bowl.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's your food, eat it, and then we'll do something else later on.
Yeah.
I feel like we also need to discuss with enrichment. Like, obviously, we use enrichment for dogs that do need a bit extra in their life. So say you don't have time to walk your dog every day. I mean, it would be ideal if you could, but let's face it, it doesn't always work that way. And that's when I say, all right, if you don't have time or the weather is absolutely awful, how about you play 2 games with your dog instead? Or you're doing reactivity training and you just need a break from the stress of it. Cool. Go play with the flirt pole and do some scent work and do some of those things so you get a break from the shit stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of how I use it. I don't keep topping up and up and up and up. It's not necessary.
So some of the things that we do, so if we don't have time to do like a big walk in the afternoon with our dogs. So one of my dogs, she just likes doing whatever. So I don't think necessarily her going for a walk necessarily is for her to burn energy. I know that sounds weird, but she's not a high energy dog anymore. She just likes to be out. So her walks are just, if she wants to plod along for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, she's actually happy with that. That's what she's content with. My other dog, we need to walk because she actually needs to burn energy. So her thing is, we got her a weighted vest so that it tired her out a lot quicker, and she'll just run, and her enrichment is just running and smelling. That's an enrichment, and it's something I'm not even actively doing. I'm like, you can, because she has good recall, she can run and sniff. That is her big enrichment. If she doesn't get that, then that's actually what frustrates her. And then if I feel like she hasn't had enough, I might put a licky mat on with a bit of peanut butter, and then she's sweet. That's about her weekly enrichment. Or we have like a ball that they can roll around. I put some treats in, I give it to them.
That's it. And I mean, I have lots of things. I don't know if you can see it. I've got all my stuff here. But it's not like I'm using it every day.
No.
I think actually some of those things I haven't used in months.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I feel like it. I'm like, oh, cool, let's do this game for a bit. Because I do think people are they have so many enrichment games, and they make their dog play that every day, then it's not enrichment anymore. They figured out the puzzle. They can just go like that, yeah, got the treats now. So what's the enrichment in just doing the same shit every time?
I don't actually use puzzles really at all, because I feel like my dog, well, I've got like a couple of puzzles, but it's definitely not an enrichment that I like, is one that I go to for sure. Like licky mats, because it always takes them a while to lick it off, like off there, and I can put like different things on it to make it more interesting. And then the ball, like they still have to roll it actively for ages to get it out. It's not like they've learned a technique to get it out quickly. And then I have the flirt pole that you mentioned, so that's like a chasey one, because my dog has like greyhound in her and everything, so like the prey drive, so she likes that. She also really likes tug and fetch, so those are all the enrichments. I don't think outside the box really for enrichment.
I do really enjoy doing scent work type games, but those are different every time. Like hide and seek and all that. Every time I hide it somewhere else.
They're never going to know the exact place that you put it next time.
If I play this game right here, they know, select that, and now just open those. It's not a puzzle anymore. It's just do this and then I follow the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, they might still enjoy it, but how enriching is it really if you
like
give the same puzzle every single day?
Yeah, maybe like a once a month kind of thing, because they might, not remember it as often, and they like take another like minute to think about it, like because you've got a few different ones there. Like
I would say this one is a lot more interesting to dogs, because first they have to hit it properly to get it out.
And again, it's still going to take longer to get it all out. Yeah.
I think it is finding that. Like, I love this one. This one is always different. This is a homemade one.
That's cool.
They put the treat on, and they have to smack it, and then it'll fly. And then they've still got to go find it. Or Lennox can catch it mid-air.
Yeah.
That's the poof. And they go nuts about that. But I feel like this is more trick than it is enrichment.
See, my dog would just eat straight from there.
Oh, if you allowed him.
Yeah.
But that's the fun in training.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just here's a puzzle.
You gotta
and go do the puzzle, and now you're enriched. I don't think that's what enrichment is. And I also don't think your dog needs 500 different types of enrichment to live a good life.
No. But I also think there's a pressure that people have to be creative as well. Like I said, I know, like I've got all the basic ones and my dogs love those ones. Like I'm not, and like scent work, like I do a lot of, I think I mentioned it in one podcast, I will throw treats when Nova's not looking and then go find it and then she has to find it.
I love that.
There's nothing, like I mean, I put an association finder, you like find a treat on the ground. That was about as much training as I did. And I'll do it in an area and I might have to encourage her to keep looking in a certain area, but she might go back and forth for ages around because she gets confused about where the smell is.
It rolls under something. Sometimes I do that in here and it rolls slightly under the crate and then that's a puzzle. Try and get that kibble out from under the crate, you know? And I do think that you're right. Like people make it seem like you constantly have to renew and something. Or you have to buy fancy equipment for it. I actually made this, funny enough, enrichment course, and it's 22 games with all items you have in the house. You don't have to buy any fancy puzzle equipment or special dog peanut butter and all that kind of stuff. It's just, here is some recycling, go have fun with it.
Definitely. My dogs love cardboard boxes, so when we get deliveries, we'll let them shred it up. That's a big one for my dogs. And then even like the enrichment throwing it on the grass, I'll do it when we're on a walk. So I'm getting enrichment plus a walk, but I'm not putting any extra real effort into it.
Exactly. And
there's nothing wrong with trying to do things as well without putting extra effort in either.
That's it. I feel like that is so important, that for people to know that enrichment doesn't have to be elaborate and fancy and amazing, what you see on social media all the time. It could be something as simple as you said, toss the treats, go find them. Like when that client messaged me, she was like, I feel guilty, I'm not doing enough with my dog. And then I think I had leftover pasta, like just the noodles that we didn't use. And I literally made a video for her like 5 minutes later where I put a whole line of pasta on the ground and make the dogs wait for it, and then they race to eat it up. My dog's been enriched.
It was something different.
Something super different. It doesn't need to be so pretty and elaborate. It's just something your dog enjoys doing. Or like, I made a video, I put it on YouTube the other day. I put my dogs in a downstay and I put a circle of kibble around them and they have to just wait while I do that. I think I made a heart shape. That's enrichment.
It is.
It's basic bitch stuff.
And that probably took you, 1 minute to put the love heart?
And they're like, oh my God, I can't eat it. And then, okay, now you can.
One of my games that I started teaching my dog, and I haven't done it for a while, but I should do it again, was I had her in a sit. And I started with the treats like far to this way, but I was after the treat. So you start further away and then call her to me, and then she comes past, but because it's so far away, it's not on her path. And then you give her a treat, and then you release her to get the treat.
Oh, cool.
And then she's like, I can get that one. And then you slowly bring it closer. And then if she tries to get that treat, then you've just pushed her. Like you need to, and then you push it back out, and then over time you get them running past the treat in the middle to come straight to you because they know they're going to get that one as well.
Exactly, but look, that's not just enrichment. That's like amazing recall training. And impulse control, and I feel like personally, I love those type of games more. Then I say, well, here's a Nina Ottensen puzzle that cost you $86. And your dog just goes, blah, 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 man.
And so I'm encompassing my training and enrichment at the same time, which training can be enrichment if you're doing it in a fun way. But it's, again, like less effort because I'm doing like one activity for 5 minutes and it's using her brain, but it's also something different that she's doing.
That's it. And enrichment, that's what enrichment is. It's supposed to enrich your dog's life a bit. Doesn't need to fill up, like become a whole day camp.
Exactly.
Enrichment activities.
So,
So I think bottom line is enrichment is good for your dogs. It's great. Definitely do it. But don't feel like you have to overdo it or you're not good enough if you missed a few days.
And it's fine to be very basic things. It doesn't have to it doesn't have to be creative. If your dog's enjoying it, that's the main thing.
That's right. And that does bring me to my most annoying one, and I'm just gonna say it. I hate the videos. Sorry if you did one, because I know followers of mine have done it, and it's fine, each to their own. But I hate the videos with the bowls, the enrichment bowls.
Oh.
And it's like, here is mince, and here is a quail egg, and here is 12 supplements, and here is this, and here is that, and we put that on like a charcuterie board for dogs.
Yeah.
And we call that enrichment. I mean, it might be, I don't know, my dog would just eat it all in one go anyway. But I feel like that makes people feel so shit if you don't do that.
And also, all I'm thinking about is the time that it took you, the effort it took you to put that all together.
You could have done something with your dog.
And versus your dog actually just going, okay, cool, I'll eat it up.
Yeah.
But there's no difficulty to trying to figure it out. There's probably no real difference in textures and stuff because it's probably all just their normal food. It's all their normal food.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I just see it, and people go like, oh, this is the enrichment bowl. And I'm like, what, is it enrichment? I mean, fuck, props on you for getting so much variation in your dog's diet. Let's put that up there.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. But I do watch it sometimes, and it started off a few years ago with, a bit of raw food and a chicken neck and some pumpkin. And now it's like, these dogs will be eating $60 meals, man. But sometimes. Alright, guys, sorry for the random cut. We didn't realize my phone was overheating and stopped recording. So we were considering re-recording, but then we couldn't remember what we were talking about. So this is our enrichment chat. We just wanted to say you don't need to over-enrich. You don't need to do anything fancy.
No.
It can just be a fun activity that's varied for your dog.
I think it should be that there's more value out of it for the dog than the effort that you're putting into making it. So if you're spending an hour prepping something that won't be of a lot of value for the dog, then you're focusing on the wrong scale. You don't even have to really think outside the box to.
That's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be fancy. Doesn't need to be 10 games in a day. Just something your dog enjoys. And trying something new. Just sometimes it's fun for the dog to figure out something new instead of giving the same frozen Kong every single day.
And I think if you enjoy even doing things like trick training, that can be enrichment enough for dogs. Like if your dog enjoys it, do that instead. Then you don't have to then go out and then do something else. You can just pick one thing.
That could be it.
That could be it.
That's it. Alright, thank you so much for listening. We would love to know what you do for enrichment for your dog. What's your favorite game? Or you do not do any enrichment. And if you want to talk about that, that's welcome as well.
Yeah.
Alright, great. See you next time.